morning.
And that means it's time for the Rotten Mournings
Podcast!
The best way to start your morning off rotten.
Podcast!
Welcome back to Mournings.
Rotten morning.
I'm Scott.
Oh, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandy.
And I'm Grim.
And this is Rotten.
Podcast!
Okay, for God's sakes. I thought we had finished that in season whatever.
Fuck you, Scott.
Welcome to the season premiere of season 6 of the podcast. We're really excited. We've got a brand new format and a brand new producer.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We never had a
He's dead
producer.
too.
We still don't have a producer.
Matt likes to treat our producer poorly and pretend like he doesn't exist. But I see you behind the glass, Mr. Producer. What in the shit was that, Brandy?
That was the producer.
Oh.
That was not me.
Oh.
It was the producer. I just said.
Sorry, that was actually my stomach.
The producer is possessed.
In
Scott's stomach.
I've eaten the producer. So I didn't intend to. I just started with a finger and worked my way up.
Didn't
Just
save
because
us
it
any.
starts with produce
Started
does
with-
not mean it's edible.
You say that, and I got to give you credit. That was actually pretty funny.
Would you say like someone that brings tomatoes or like brings? I don't know how to say
Spit it out.
I love tomatoes.
If you were the
I'll be
person that
spitting out the producer.
provided vegetables to a specific place does that make you the producer?
Producer.
Matt is now banned from the podcast.
Hey, why
That's
did the
not
pony
allowed.
not neigh very loud?
Oh no.
Why did the pony not neigh very loud?
Because he was a little horse.
Get out.
Welcome to
Scott,
season
shut up.
6.
You go too.
Because you're a little horse.
Welcome to season 6. This is season 6 of the podcast. Thank you for joining us for 6 amazing seasons.
Yeah, I hope you liked season 5.
It was only one episode.
All of the other episodes burned in a fire.
Yes.
Yeah,
Producer got mad.
And quit.
Yeah.
that's why we have the new
and
producer.
Then hung himself. And
God.
then Scott ate him.
Had the new producer.
Oh, we did have a new producer, and now we have a new one that I have eaten. We're going to talk a little bit about rotten news, things coming up, which we do have some stuff coming up this week. As we
do.
all
Pass around meat sticks.
as we all break bread. we take the body of rotten. So already we've got Lady Grey has an episode. Let me find out when
I know
that's
she has
coming
stuff coming up on Monday.
up. Yep, the Tales of the Paranormal.
On Monday at 6 o'clock, we have Tales of Paranormal.
That's Central Standard Time.
Yep.
On Tuesday, the 30th, we have the Rotten Hounds reviews of Little Nightmares 2.
Yep, that's on Vex's YouTube channel. And
Yes.
also on the 30th, we have Nick's new episode of Darker Stories.
Yes, that should be 8 o'clock Central Time.
Nick's new terrifying stories and undulating animations.
And then on Wednesday, Lady Grey has her newest Cryptic Tales.
Yeah, so definitely...
Also at 6 o'clock. And then on Friday, we will be going to...
Atrox or
it's one or the other. Has anybody even looked that up since I keep saying that wrong?
No, we just keep going with what you have said.
I'm an idiot, though.
So you guys
Well,
are definitely
that's
going to
your
go
problem.
to Atrox or
You did
Arcs.
your research.
Yeah.
Isn't Nightmare also on that night?
Nightmare is on
I
Saturday.
don't know if we're gonna make it to Nightmare. I want to, but I don't know if we're gonna get a chance. I think they're doing Friday and Saturday.
I would not put it past them.
So if we go to Aatrox, maybe we can do Aatrox and Nightmare. And if we go to Arcs, maybe we can do Arcs and Doomsday. Because Doomsday has something going on too.
Aatrox is the 10th. So it
Okay,
can't
so that'll be the following week.
It
No.
can't be Aatrox.
Wait, go back down. That's just a movie.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
But it
No,
says they're
December
showing
3rd
it
and
at
4th.
Aatrox.
And 10th and
And
11th.
10th and
Oh,
11th.
okay, cool. So I might actually be able to make one of those.
Yeah. So maybe we could do Aatrox the following week.
Unless that's what Jason wanted to do.
Who?
Jason from
Well, we don't know what we're
Friday
doing
the 13th?
yet.
No,
but we
Jason
will be
from
doing some
City of
Christmas
Chaos.
haunts
He invited us to go
with them.
out with
For
them
both
to
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Don't know what we're doing, but we're planning it.
But we're going to be there.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
But it,
Come
it's
out and
not-
see
it
us at
can't
the
be
place.
Arcs has nothing else posted.
Yeah,
up,
I
so
thought
they're not
Arcs
doing
was doing Valentine's.
it. So it's Aatrox.
Okay.
So it is
So-
Aatrox on
Nightmare and
Friday.
Spook Trail.
no. What?
Aatrox, no. Aatrox we will be doing Friday the 3rd.
And
December
Containment
3rd.
we will be doing
Containment
Saturday the 4th.
So maybe
Also,
the
on
following
that
week.
same weekend, Nightmare at 3008 is doing their Christmas haunt on the
Oh my
4th.
God.
But we've already booked ourselves to be
But
in
are-
Georgia, so we won't be.
But are they doing theirs on Friday too? Because we could maybe do that the same night we do Aatrox,
Friends,
since they're both nearby.
loyal listeners. As you can
We should
tell,
have looked into these things before we started recording.
that's okay. I haven't started recording.
Shut your mouth now.
I took a picture.
No, they're only doing it the 4th. from
That's what I
7 to
thought.
10.
They were only doing it on the. Yeah. Well, it says 4th
Of November.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Which we've missed.
December the 4th, yeah. First 4 people that correctly guess all the songs of movies wins a free t-shirt. It's called a Dysfunctional Christmas.
I like free t-shirts.
And it's a toy drive out there, so
At Nightmare.
yes.
Excellent. So there are some haunts going on this weekend. So we're really excited that there are going to be some haunts. If you haven't gotten your haunt fix throughout the season, you've got one more opportunity before the end of the year to
And
get your
it's
haunts
really
on.
fun to go to a Christmas haunt, especially if you've never gone to one, because it's like a kind of a different experience.
One of our first haunts that we went to all together as Rotten Reviews was a Christmas haunt
Yep, at Hellbilly Hollow.
at Hillbilly Hollow, and there
It's
was
really where we got our whole entire start of that leg of Rotten Reviews, because me and Brandy were already doing
That's
reviews, but we weren't doing the commercials and stuff like that.
Grim was out there.
Well, she may have been out there, but we didn't know her.
When you
then.
first started, no, I wasn't. I wasn't working there yet.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know how long you'd been there. That would have been really neat if we had not known.
Well, we've got footage of Graham when we didn't know Graham.
Yeah.
From one of the Hell Nights with her and Jacob, and she's like whipping Jacob in the video, and
I
we
was
didn't know
dressed
her
as a
then.
maid.
Yeah, she was dressed as a maid.
French
then.
maid.
You what?
So stupid.
Say the French word again.
French.
Whore.
Baguette.
Baguette.
Crab de whore.
Baguette. Baguette.
Deja.
Crab de jour.
Crab de whore.
Crab de whore.
Crab de whore.
All right, guys. So that's Rotten News. We've got a new episode. Oh, we've got another review probably coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That came out yesterday.
She made beans. What the fuck?
Yeah. So if you haven't,
It's Monday today, right?
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Up against theirs? Do you don't want to do it on Sunday instead?
I picked the day. It's kind of the day that the news would come out.
Hey, I understand if they want to go to Containment this Saturday, but Containment is also doing theirs the following weekend too. Nightmare's only open one day.
Okay.
Could we suggest going to Nightmare and
I haven't talked to them at all. But he wanted to go to containment that weekend.
Dear listener, as we continue to
Yeah,
tell
we're
you about
having
the plans,
right now. We are
don't
coming up with the
actually
plans.
know.
we would like for you to know that we definitely have a plan, and
We will figure it out the day of.
in no way are planning it currently. That would be ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So we do have some new stuff. We'll hopefully be going live from a haunt this weekend. What haunt that is, we'll be spinning the wheel.
Yes, spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel! And
Win a prize. Take it home. Make your favorite girl happy.
As
You're-
I said, we will figure it out the day of because that is the rotten way.
Or not.
so we probably want to talk about what this season's about, huh?
Oh, is in this podcast that we're doing right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit record.
Have we
here in a
figured that
minute.
out yet?
Podcast!
Okay.
Okay.
You promised me.
No.
You promised me.
No. No, she
What?
didn't.
I didn't promise you anything.
You promised.
Nope.
Did I?
You assumed.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
so this season we're going to do a little bit something different. We're going to be doing urban legends throughout the pop culture world, and we've got a lot of interesting topics that we're going to talk about. We're really excited about it. When we jump over to that section, we'll tell you what today's topic is. So what we're going to do is we're going to take us a short break. I'm going to see if the producer knows how to do that. And
I'm going to leave.
Brandy's going to leave.
I gotta go pee.
Grim's going to go with her.
And pee, I said.
Yeah. They're going to go
You
pee.
better
We're
not
not
pee on
going.
me.
We're not going to pee together.
They can only pee
I'm not
together.
gonna pee on you.
It's holding hands is the only way the
I
pee
don't
comes
like
out.
this.
Okay, I'm done. Bye.
All right. Let's take a quick commercial break.
Stay rotten.
Hey, producer, go ahead and hit the button.
I'm peeing now.
Oh God, you gotta hit the button faster. She'll just start. There's pee
Your
sounds
pillows are wet.
Why is everybody looking at me?
because there's
Peeing
pee
right
sounds.
now. and
Okay.
You help
Hit the
me.
button.
You help me.
Hit the button.
Cool.
Hit the button. Hit the button. Hit the button. Okay, guys, we just have to jump on here really quickly and just throw a note out to the audience.
Yeah. I told you our producer was garbage.
Yeah, well, I mean, he paid the fee for the application, so we
Yeah.
gave him a shot, you know.
That's like 25 cents in a piece of bubble gum.
Yeah.
Like anybody could do.
It's pretty much the only way we make money around here is by the application
Selling
fees
bubble gum.
and the bubblegum sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of Bazooka Joe, if you know what I mean. Right, guys?
Hell no.
Bazooka, oh no!
Oh, no.
The podcast!
God damn it.
You broke it! So yeah, he kept holding a sign up that said that this season will be airing on Mondays. That ain't right.
Nope.
We told him that.
Yes. And then he went out of his way to make a sign to tell us wrong.
Yeah.
And
Which-
then wrote it off as saying it was rotten.
Yeah, and then spent half the budget for this podcast on that sign.
Yes, because he bought a marker.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we had markers.
Yeah, he just used his shirt. He just wrote it on his shirt that he was wearing.
Pretty much. So yeah, season 6 of the podcast will be on Sundays
Yes.
at a certain time.
Yes.
If you're listening to this today, it's Sunday. If you're listening to it tomorrow, yesterday was Sunday.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you for clearing that up for us.
Yeah, it's straight up.
Yeah.
So we have gotten rid of that producer. We have a new producer in the house. We're really excited about him. Usually we don't do that mid-episode, but we do. And his first task, fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. First task is to, as soon as we get done with this section, shoot us directly into the commercial.
All right, so right after this, commercial coming at you guys.
But before, wait a minute. Before you go to commercial, we do want to talk about the Rotten Writers podcast.
Right.
Oh,
That is on Mondays.
Yes.
Wait, are you just reading that guy's shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I
Okay.
don't really keep up with that.
But I think
Yeah.
it really is supposed to be on Mondays.
Yeah, so Mondays we have there's a new podcast in the Rotten world. It's called Rotten Writers.
Yes.
And that is with Tutu.
Yes.
who you've seen tons of lives and multiple characters. Lady Grey, you've seen tons of her lives. And Nick Lay and his darker stories, he is also part of that. So they have a Rotten Writers podcast, and check that out. And it comes Monday. So this show is on Sunday.
Yes, that show is on Monday. Let me say something about Nick. Nick could read anything, and it just sounds fucking sexy as hell.
Yeah,
Like, he could
That is
read.
so
He
true.
could read an obituary of like somebody I was very close to, and I'd be like, God damn, those smooth melodic sounds.
yeah. It's weird. You're like, I really miss them, and the owner's awkward.
Yeah, the boner is awkward.
Owner's awkward. I don't know why Nick has one while he's reading it. Anyway, guys, check out the Rotten Writers podcast on Monday mornings. All right, now, look, this is it. This is your one chance. Play the fucking commercial.
To commercial.
Welcome back to the podcast. We are jumping into the pop culture urban legends section.
That's right. The pop culture urban legend.
Stop touching me. Don't touch me.
Turn the TikTok go.
Thank you guys for that musical interlude. So the first thing that we want to talk about today is called the Mandela Effect.
No.
It's already happened.
What?
It's Mandela.
No, it's Mandela.
It's Mandela.
Since when?
Oh my God,
So-
it's happening right now.
The Mandela Effect refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believes that an event occurred when it did not.
Now, this is named for Nelson Mandela. And when Nelson Mandela died, it shocked a lot of the world who thought that Nelson Mandela had died.
Yeah.
And they actually, a lot of people thought he died in prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where they coined the phrase Mandela Effect from.
Yeah. Which is weird. I would have preferred the Nelson Effect.
Yeah. Nelson Effect.
Yeah. Just doesn't have the same taste to it.
Yeah. It's true.
So, one of the ones, Mandela effects, that we have been discussing as we were doing research for this podcast, we were talking about the very popular Berenstain Bears, right?
Yes.
Now, some people say Berenstein, some people say Berenstein, and both of those people
Or
apparently
Berenstain.
are wrong because apparently it's Berenstain.
But in the cartoon, the intro says Berenstein.
Yes.
So what's funny about that is that I read the books as most kids did, and I read these last year, but I never saw the cartoon. So having not having ever read seen the cartoon, why would I think it was Berenstein?
I saw the cartoon and read the books, and I could swear it was spelled E-I-N and pronounced Steen.
Okay.
But
Same.
apparently, if you look at it now, it is spelled A-I-N, and they say stain. But when you look up the intro, it's still, you can still hear Steen.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if that's because that particular word, that A takes on an E sound in the whatever language.
But even
There.
then, it would
Let's
be
let
more
them-
likely to be
Let's
an
them hear
I.
this intro part.
Okay.
It says Berenstein.
Yeah,
Berenstain
the
Bears.
Is that Dolly Parton?
It sounds like her. Be here. Steen. Berenstein. Not Stain.
It's
Steen.
Berenstain Bears.
Now,
family.
was the cartoon? Did it have any relation to the books?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Also-
apparently I'm wrong on both sides because I thought it was Berenstein. So
I think I
I
said
remember it is.
Berenstein because I read it instead of instead of hearing it or anything.
Yeah, because
and
I thought it was
friends.
Berenstain until I was researching the Mandela Effect and I watched the intro and it says Steen, but everybody else is saying it's Stain. But if it's actually on the cartoon, the licensed cartoon,
Yeah.
then why,
I
think-
always thought it was Steen.
And see, I thought it was a bunch of bears that had been pieced together.
like Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Berenstain.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I always thought that was really neat and innovative,
Yeah.
It turns out they were a stain on our culture.
But I don't see anywhere that it says Berenstain.
Sure.
I hear that pronounced as Berenstain.
So, Berenstain actually comes from, in English it would be pronounced Jan Berenstain, if you've just read the English letters, but if you read it in
German.
it may be German, it would be like Jan Berenstein, or Berenstein. Yeah, Berenstein, because that's how it would be. So, and I don't know how the producer pronounced her name, but
I
that's
think in
where
old
Berenstain
German it
came
was
from.
grab them, the Jewish.
I think you're wrong.
And I'll just be editing that out.
He's
be
making
more
fun
like,
of the terrible people.
Berenstein!
Yes. But that's not the only, like, that's really interesting. And I've seen examples of, like, action figures where part of the packaging says Berenstain and part of the packaging says Berenstain. Like,
Yeah.
and there's several examples of that. So maybe there was just,
A knockoff toy.
well, maybe there was just confusion in the, like, the people who made the toys. You know, we
Yeah.
see that a lot. We've
True.
seen Superman.
True.
We've seen things like that. So, there's a very good chance
Well,
that anything
how
I had.
about peanut butter? What popular peanut butter do you remember as a kid?
Oh, Peter Pap.
No, I do
What?
remember Peter Pan, but I'm thinking of a different brand. How do you remember?
I remember Jif.
I don't remember Jif, and let me tell you why I don't remember Jif. There was an old urban legend story of an old woman. It was her birthday, and everybody had gathered for her birthday, and they were all hidden in the dark in her house. And the story goes that everybody's in there hidden in the house, and they're hiding in this specific room, and their lights off and the doors closed in this room. And the lady comes home and she's like going around her house. And then they hear her saying, "It's Jiffy time, it's Jiffy time." And then she comes in there and opens the door, and apparently she has peanut butter rubbed on her crotch. She's trying to get her dog's attention because dogs like peanut butter. That's where my stick for Jiffy came from, because I always heard it's Jiffy time, not it's Jiff time, because it just seems so short.
Okay, I definitely don't remember any form of
You've
story
never heard that
like
story?
that. But I
That's
also don't
fucking weird.
remember Jif peanut butter at all. I was a Peter Pan girl. We always had Peter
Peter
Pan
Pan.
I always heard
peanut
Jiffy
butter.
time.
But as far
That's
as
popcorn.
Jiffy, yeah, I remember that as popcorn. I don't remember that as peanut butter. I
Really?
remember the Jiffy popcorn that
So-
you would put on the stove.
I just remember that story,
And we didn't ever
and it
get
always
that
stuck
kind,
in
but
my head.
I
It was just a
remember that.
stupid story that kids used to tell back in high school. That, oh, my grandmother, this and this and that. You know, they always try to relate it to somebody they know, their aunt or uncle, or it was a guy in some stories,
Yeah.
it was a girl in some stories. But the underlying thing that always happens was they say, "It's Jiffy time," and they were like, "Jiffy time? What does that mean?" And then cut the light on, and she's covered in peanut butter, expecting the dog to lick the peanut butter off of her.
That sounds horrible.
I know it sounds horrible, but that's what I always reference back to it being Jiffy, because
Yeah, no.
Jiffy time.
I just think Jiffy was popcorn.
Maybe she was covered in popcorn.
Nah, I doubt that.
And her dog super loved popcorn that you have to pop over
Maybe.
a stove.
Okay, so Yeah, I think we should just move on to the next one.
No, let's talk about peanut butter crotches
So,
more.
how do you remember Looney Tunes? How was Tunes spelled?
So, Looney Tunes for me, that's very, very easy for
That
me.
one's easy
though,
for me, too.
Because melody.
Merry Melody.
It was Merry Melodies before
Yeah.
it was Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
That's
see,
just,
I remember that too.
I think that's just people seeing tunes and immediately like associating it
Assuming.
with cartoons.
Well, I wonder if it's the same thing. Like, we've all seen these posts where there's a bunch of words written and only the first letter and the last letter are up there, and you can read it without any problems.
Yeah.
And only, 5% of the people in the world, like, anybody can read that. Like, that's not special at all. But we see the first part of the word and the last part of the word, and in our head, we just make tunes, and it's a cartoon.
I think that the reason Looney Tunes became that was because kids would always get up for Saturday morning tunes, or they used to, like ABC, NBC, they would like call it Toon Saturday. And then when you saw Looney Tunes, you just associated that to cartoons.
Sure, but now let me ask you this, because you bring up an interesting point. What was Tiny Toons?
That's OONS.
It was.
Yeah.
So how was that OONS?
And then
And it's the same
yeah,
characters
true.
of UNES.
Well,
Are
because
you,
it wasn't licensed from Tiny, like Looney Tunes, it was different because the big thing about Merry Melodies was they always like incorporated like
Music.
that music,
Yeah.
that kind of classical music and stuff like that. There were composers.
Well-
Whereas with Looney Tunes, they're tiny, they're toony. And that's why they
They're
were
tiny,
Looney
they're
Tunes.
toony,
They weren't
they're-
toony as in music, they were toony as in cartoons.
yeah, but do you see where that would be
Yeah.
confusing?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so is it the same thing as, like, say, Fruit Loops? Was it just confused because of that in the same way that that one was switched? How do you remember Fruit Loops being, the fruit in Fruit Loops being spelled?
Oh,
Was it spelled like fruit, or was it
I
spelled
remember
like
it with
loops?
the cereal being right there for
Yeah.
fruit.
no, I always remember it being fruit. Was it not?
Well, a lot of people remember it as being spelled like the actual word fruit. But
So-
I remember it as
OO?
OO, like loops.
Was it,
Yeah, they had the two O's.
was Fruit Brute? Was he,
Yeah.
was he the two O's?
Now, no, Fruit Brute was actually spelled
Fruit.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that messed me up.
Fruit.
Recently, somebody was eating a fruit-flavored Tootsie Roll. And I was like, oh, that's a Fruitsy Roll. And they're like, no, it's a fruit Tootsie Roll. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's always called a Fruitsy Roll. And then they showed me the package, and I was like, what the flip is this?
I think you just created your own Mandela Effect. I've never heard of a Fruitsy Roll.
I have
I've
not
had
either.
fruit-flavored Tootsie Rolls,
Really?
but I've never
I've
heard of
never.
a Fruitsy Roll.
That's so
Until
weird.
right now.
Why would you not call it a Fruitsy Roll? It's perfectly, it's set up to be called that.
I mean, maybe, but I've never heard that before until right now.
Well, I hate it.
The face that you just gave me, I do not accept.
What about the bad guy in the first Gremlins movie? What was his name?
Ooh.
Spike.
And everybody thinks it's Stripe
Why?
Stripe.
because Stripe there's actually a licensed T-shirt on Amazon under the name of Spike, but it's Stripe, not Spike.
Yeah.
It's
It's
what?
Stripe.
I remember it as Stripe. I don't remember his name being Spike.
It is Stripe,
Yeah.
not Spike.
Oh, okay. Wait, what's the real thing?
Stripe.
Stripe, because he has a stripe of white hair.
Yes,
Not
not
'cause-
Spike
'cause
because
he
he has
doesn't-
spiky white hair.
He doesn't have a spike,
Yes.
I guess.
So that's the one that you thought was Spike, but that was always Stripe. But I remember it as Spike. I even called the toy that I've got in there, Spike.
Yeah.
What are some of the other ones?
Flintstones.
What's the Flintstones?
How do you spell Flintstones?
Flint and Stone.
Like
No,
rock.
I don't think there's another T in it. It's just Flynn.
There-
Flintstones.
Is two T's.
There
but
is?
lots of people remember it without the first T.
I remember
as
it without
Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Why?
I remember it as Flintstone.
Why would they remember it?
But there is a lot of people that says
I know it would be
Flintstones.
thinking about it, Flint, because Flint
Right.
and stones. But I remember Flintstones.
You remember Flintstones?
I do.
That's how a lot of people remember it. Now that one I
did
actually
you
do
remember,
remember as
Matt?
Flint.
Flint, like The Rock.
Because that's
With
the
two Ts.
caveman thing.
Flint
Yeah.
It's a
and
Flintstone.
Stone.
I wonder.
See, that's how I remember it, but there's a whole lot of people. That's one of the Mandela effects. There's a whole lot of people that remember it with only one T.
Were you a Boy Scout?
I flirted with the idea of being.
You flirted with some Boy Scouts?
No, my
Flirted
brother.
with
Look,
Boy Scouts.
my brother
Just
was
because you
Well,
flirted with
now
some
that
Boy
explains
Scouts,
a lot.
I just like if you grew up and you did camping stuff, which the Boy Scouts did, and a bunch of people did, then Flint Rock was a very common thing that you would know to start a fire, is a flint. So Flintstone would be a thing. But if you didn't grow up camping like that, then Flintstones is perfectly I can see where because it sounds like
But there
that.
is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
You're like, oh wait.
Here's Cruella. That one's not good because that's a spelling one.
Because that's what?
Well, one of the ones that tripped me out is the "Play It Again, Sam." The line "Play It Again," said by Humphrey Bogart character Rick in Casablanca is also well known. Some claim to be able to hear him speak such words, which this is true. It's Elsa from the classic film of the same name, played by Ingrid Bergman. She says.
It's
Play
Elsa
it
that
again,
says
Sam.
play it again.
Not
Sam.
Humphrey Bogart saying "Play it again, Sam."
Yeah. And we can all hear him say that
Well,
because
that
it's been so
one-
iconic.
I think the reason that's iconic is because there's been so many places that have referenced that with Humphrey Bogart's accent.
Oh yeah,
But
I
it's
think,
not actually Humphrey Bogart that says it.
I think Ace Ventura did that in the mirror, or Jim Varney as Ernest did that in the mirror. It's very common.
Okay,
impression.
what about the Disney "Mirror, Mirror on the Wall"? Who's
Oh,
the fairest
yeah.
of them all?
I
Right.
totally
And
remember
it's-
it.
I
as
remember it as "Mirror,
on the Wall.
Mirror on the Wall" because it's like a chant, like you're doing the Candyman, Candyman. She's
Right.
saying "Mirror, Mirror," but she's actually saying
Magic.
Mirror on the Wall."
So, all right, now that's a really good one, and I think about this as kids. All right, so my nephew calls my children's mom Mimi. Her name is Amy, but that's two different sounds.
Yeah,
If they can pick up, and they know that there's two sounds there, and they know that they can do one sound.
yeah.
So they say me, right? And mirror, mirror, works because you can say one of the sounds and duplicate it to make the two sounds, right?
Yeah. True.
So mirror, mirror works in that situation, and it would just go that you would always think that.
And the Monopoly, the board game.
Oh God, yes.
With the monocle, and now
I totally remember him with the monocle.
I remember the monocle too.
I can talk the monocle out of existence because number one, there was a character on Looney Tunes that was a fat rich guy that had a monocle.
True.
There was Ace Ventura when he references the Monopoly game. That guy's got a monocle in his eye.
Scrooge McDuck would sometimes
Scrooge
have a
McDuck,
monocle.
same way. There was just so many of those things that we watched as a kid that had those monocles, and I think we just related a monocle to being rich, and the Monopoly guy to being that, I swim in money, but he never had a
I remember
monocle.
him with a monocle.
I
I
know.
swear I
Yeah,
remember
Curious
that.
George is another one, right?
Yes, with the tail.
I don't remember
Yeah.
You
him
remember
having the tail.
Curious George having a tail.
I do not.
Apparently the tail was never there. But
I do
thought
remember
he had a
Curious George
tail.
with a tail. I remember him hanging from
Yes, hanging from a tree.
from
off
a
his
tree
tail.
or hanging from the shower rod.
But did we think of that because of the barrel of monkeys?
Maybe.
That-
Well, so my thing with monkeys was actually this book called 99 Hats or something. And it was this children's book where this guy, he was a hat salesman, and he had hats just stacked on top of hats. And he walks past a tree full of monkeys, and they all come down and take one of his hats, and they're all hanging upside down. So Monkey Tales and that sort of thing was the same sort of children's book as Curious George.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember, because Curious George was so anamorphic to me, I don't remember him being monkey in any other regard than like Paddington was.
Yeah. A bear.
Okay, so what
Right.
about the Fruit of the Loom logo?
I think that was spelled like fruit.
Yes, that is
Not
not,
with two
in
O's.
question.
Okay.
I
But
think
was there a cornucopia
Yes.
in the logo?
I remember there
remember-
being a cornucopia.
I-
or was
do.
it just fruit?
cornucopia. Yes.
I don't remember the cornucopia. And here's why I don't remember the cornucopia. Is because for me, Fruit of the Loom was always the guys dressed as the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't like ever burst out of a cornucopia or anything like that. So it was...
What about Febreze? Like, was it 2 E's or 1 E?
See, I don't remember that having 2 E's. I think people think of that because the word breeze is spelled with 2 E's. But the Oscar Mayer, how would you sing the song of Oscar Mayer? M-A-Y-E-R?
I would
or
say, I wish I was an
M-E-Y-E-R?
Oscar Mayer wiener, so is Meyer.
Yeah,
It was always
Yeah,
an
but keep
A,
singing
but
it.
there's a lot of people.
That is what I really want to be, because if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener,
Uh-huh.
everyone would want to eat me.
And then the next part...
There's another one.
What's the
spells it
other
out.
song?
My
bologna
baloney has a first name.
name.
It's OSCAR.
My baloney has a second name.
It's
M-A-T-R-Q.
M-A-T-R-Q.
No.
It says salute, you
Well, it always had the A, but for some reason, there's a whole lot of people that remember it as M-E-Y-E-R.
So let's talk about Pikachu, just because that one comes up so often in Mandela Effect. Pikachu did not have the black tip to his tail. That was actually
Raichu.
part of his evolution to Raichu.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it's easy to remember that.
I remember Kit Kat with a hyphen in it, personally.
I do too.
But there's never been a hyphen in Kit Kat.
I don't know that I cared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, you just wanted
Okay,
to eat the
what
Kit
about-
Kat. I don't give a shit.
What about C3PO? Was C3PO always completely gold?
No.
He had a silver leg.
Yes.
But
The reason I
a lot
know
of
that
people
about
don't remember
C3PO is because I had a ton of Star Wars toys. And the C3PO that could come apart and go in the back of the Wookiee's backpack, he had the one
silver leg.
Silver leg, yeah.
See, I remember that too, but there's a whole lot of people that remember him as being completely gold.
Didn't he also have, like, in one of the prequels, he had, like, a red leg or something? Like, there
Yeah.
was some other kind of...
Yeah, it had to be replaced.
Yeah. Hey, go back to that. What was that about the Mona Lisa?
A lot of people
theories
say
of this. See, people claim that she used to have a,
a
more
more
obvious smile.
Okay, we'll keep
think
going,
she
because
did.
that one's awful.
Yeah, that one's awful. That one's stupid.
Now, let me ask you this: does anyone else remember hearing the story that the way he drew that was by looking in a mirror of his own face?
Yeah, that's a very common thing, is that's a self-portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that that's ever been dispelled, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it has.
Luke, I'm your father. I mean, that's another one of those ones where it's
So iconically said that...
said so many times that it's been misquoted so many times that you hear it that way
Well, that's
eventually when it's not even that. It's just a
Exactly.
derivation of that because he says...
And that's the same thing as the Forrest Gump one too.
Yeah, life
Whereas
is
life
like
is
a box of
versus
chocolates.
life was.
Because whenever anybody recreated it, they were just saying, well, life... My mom
Life
always said
is
life
life.
is, but
But
why
she
would
actually,
he say
he actually
is?
said life was.
Because that's a misnomer of presence. Because his mom is not currently saying it. He would say was.
Yeah, but she would say is in the was state.
Right. She would say that, but he wasn't saying it as a quote.
Mama
He's
always
saying
said
is it.
life was like a
That's
box of
how you do a
chocolates.
quote, though.
But he's not quoting her.
That's how you do a quote, though.
No, I know that, but he's not quoting her. He's not saying, my
But the
mom used to
people
say,
quoting
quote,
him are quoting him
life
wrong.
is like a
Yeah.
box of chocolates. He would say, my
Life
mom used to
was.
say life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
He's not quoting her. He's just saying
And the people
that.
quoting him are the ones saying it wrong by
So
saying
he
is
does
instead
say-
of was.
He does say that.
He says was.
Because when you say that, you pull out the quote.
Yes.
If you say, my mom says
Life is
Or my
like a
mom
box of
said-
chocolates.
this,
Says
that's
life.
quote. But if you said, my mom said that, you
Yes.
pull out the quote.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The Hello Clarice thing.
How the fuck is
yes.
that not one, though? Like,
I think that's because of Cable Guy and a lot of stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
like, he was like, hello, Clarice.
Hello,
Silence of
Clarice.
alarms. And I think that we just all kind of took it as that.
yeah.
But it doesn't, as Hannibal, it doesn't seem like a thing that he would even say because it just doesn't like.
Guys, I hope that we are fully describing what these are because we're kind of running through them.
Okay.
And we want you to we want to make sure that you guys are knowing what we're talking about in this, and we probably need to be a little bit better.
One that has always irritated the shit out of me is from Lord of the Rings when Gandalf says, "Fly, you fools." Everybody has repeated that, the shit out of it, saying, "Run, you fools." It is
Yep.
fly. I remember, "Fly, you fools."
Doesn't
Because it is fly you
Yeah.
fools.
So there's a line in. Similarly, there's a line in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where he's like, "Fly, you fat ass, fly."
Fly, fat ass, fly!
Yeah, and like that one gets misquoted around my house a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
What about Mr. Rogers?
But
Oh,
all-
yeah.
How does the
How do
Mr.
you remember
Rogers
the
song?
theme song? From
Sing the Mr. Rogers theme song.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day in the
Alice.
neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Isn't it a beautiful day in our neighborhood?
It's
No.
a beautiful day in
This
Yeah.
neighborhood. And that doesn't even sound right.
It
does
It's a
not.
beautiful day in this neighborhood.
I definitely
Well,
remember the
can you
neighborhood.
pull
Yeah.
up the YouTube of the intro?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
could
Let's
totally
listen
do
to that. Because I remember it as the, or the, but still, not
So what we're
this.
doing now is we're pulling up the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood theme song, which is the second option there.
Oh,
Wow.
yep, but
Wow. No.
he went past. No words.
I have no words.
I have no words.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of relaxing.
God, I used to be terrified
I
of, this,
fucking hate
of a
it.
lot of parts of this show. Like, it was just so unsettling.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
He
says
does
this.
say this.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood. A neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
All right, so that's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That is one that
He did
got
say
us, and
this.
he does say
But I
this. and
swear it was the.
Yeah.
now, growing up where I grew up, we didn't have public PBS. We didn't have public broadcasting system station. The only time I would ever see that, I would go to my grandparents' house, and they had an antenna, and their antenna was so neat because our antenna, I would have to go out and grab the antenna like this with both hands and turn it about 12 degrees in order to get another TV station. But my grandparents, being, I don't know if they were more affluent than I, but they had, inside their house, they had a dial that they would turn, and it was connected to a little motor outside, and it would mechanically turn their antenna so they could
Oh,
pick up
nice.
one other station.
Some people say that the Magic Castle used to be the entrance to Disney World, and
The
I
entrance.
went to Disney World a ton when I was a kid, and I know for a fact that that was never the case.
I don't know how anyone would ever think that. When you look at the Buena Vista logo or even the Walt Disney logo. It's in the back.
Yeah.
And that's where the fireworks
Yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
the whole
Never in the
park is in the
foreground.
front. Like
Yeah.
that, I don't
Okay,
understand.
so let's talk about the one Mandela effect that still fucks with my head. This one fucks with my head the worst. And that is
No, the
Stouffer's
recent one.
stovetop stuffing. Who remembers Stouffer's stovetop stuffing?
I definitely
I do.
remember Stouffer's stovetop stuffing.
What about you guys?
But there is no such thing as Stouffer's stovetop stuffing.
Type
It's
it in. Type it
Kraft's.
into. It's crap, is what
It's
I'm.
Kraft's stovetop stuffing.
Are you doing it on YouTube?
Do you want me to just like look on Google for it?
Yeah, just Google
Okay.
Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, because the alliteration there is just so nice. That's it right there. That's Stouffer's stovetop
No,
stuffing.
that's Kraft.
No, it's Kraft now. Go back. What was it before it was Kraft?
There's nothing. It wasn't There's no
There
Stouffer's
was no
stuffing.
Stouffer's
Stouffer's
on it.
did not make stovetop stuffing.
Click on
Stouffer's
does
makes-
Stouffer's stuffing exist?
Yeah, Stouffer's
There's
makes
no
a
Stouffer's
stuffing.
stovetop stuffing. Doesn't exist.
Be gone, foul demon.
This is not a thing. This is a rendition of what it would have
It's
looked
a
like. But there is
Photoshop thing.
Stouffer never made stovetop stuff.
No, they make a stuffing, but it was something that you put in the oven.
And it wasn't called stovetop stuffing.
No.
Stovetop is the brand that Kraft made.
Well, let's see. Let's see if there's another stovetop. I mean, there's another stovetop stuffing that's not Kraft.
That stovetop is a brand name.
Yeah, but Kraft bought them, right?
No. Stovetop is the name of the
Stouffer's
brand
never
that
did it.
Kraft
See,
made.
see,
Stouffer's
click on does
never
Kraft
created.
own Stouffer's? Oh, it's owned by Nestle.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's what I'm telling you. Stouffer's made a whole bunch of stuff that you would eat for Thanksgiving, but they did not make
They
stuffing.
never made a stovetop
Supposedly.
version.
Okay, so here's,
No, they
here's
made
the-
a stuffing, but it was one you put in the oven. They never made a stovetop version.
So here's my thing. What of Stouffer's did I eat?
Yeah, I know. Like, I can't think of that either. I could have sworn it was Stouffer's stovetop stuffing.
I'm gonna look up. They had Stouffer's.
They had mac and cheese and stuff like that.
and lasagnas and
Microwavable
pizza
meals.
and I mean
TV dinners.
they had
like
a bunch
that
of
kind
stuff
thing.
that was done in that, like, they were all TV
It was
dinners.
it was microwavable meals. It wasn't even stovetop.
They don't
stuff.
do anything that's like,
You cook.
yeah, it's
Huh.
already, Stouffer's was always a pre-made thing.
Well, it's pretty made me pretty mad right now.
I know, because I was convinced I was.
I
always
remember
convinced it was
Stouffer's stovetop
Stouffer's
stuffing, man, and I just
stovetop
heard that
stuffing.
recently, and I'm like, are you, what
It still
the
blows
fuck?
my mind. It
Yeah.
really does. Okay, well, here's another one. Do any of y'all remember Sinbad playing a genie?
I don't remember that. I definitely
I
don't remember
super
that.
do not remember that either.
Well, there's a lot of people that remember Sinbad being a genie in a movie called Shazam, which apparently never existed.
Yeah.
And
But they
They
did.
think it is confused with Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal as a genie.
So here's a question about that particular one, and this is very, very crazy theory, but in 1,000 Arabian Nights, wasn't Sinbad in that, or was he not part of that?
I don't think he
not.
was.
I thought he was.
So
I thought he was.
that's what I'm thinking.
But
Is
he
like,
wasn't.
if he wasn't, then it was like maybe Sinbad and genies were in a story together. So the name Sinbad would make you think genie, which would make you think that.
I think that it was just because Sinbad was another thing. Because Sinbad
You think
and
it's like
the
a racist thing? Like
no. Sinbad was the name of a different thing. Like Sinbad, not as his name, but Sinbad in the
As the
40
character.
Thieves or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Like 1,000
But
Nights.
it wasn't Sinbad. It was the name Sinbad was something else. Like this right here, Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sinbad and the Legend of the Seven, whatever. Sinbad. Not the character actor Sinbad, but just the name Sinbad, the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Like, Sinbad had all of these things, but there's also a guy named Sinbad. But
Is that him in Shazam?
College Humor made a
That's right,
version of that after the story came out, and they were like,
Mandela
dude,
Effect.
we should totally
Yeah.
make a commercial where Sinbad is playing Shazam.
So the reason that I knew it as Shaq was that this was one of Shaq's like earliest film roles.
Mm-hmm.
He had done like Blue Chips, he had done this, and he had done one other thing. And I was fascinated with Shaq because he was just such a massive mountain of a man that it was just like really interesting to see somebody that, like, I don't want to say like I could relate to him because he's tall, but like it was just like neat to see this really big guy in film roles.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like prolific to me.
What about Mother Teresa? Do y'all remember that everybody thinks Mother Teresa is a good person and she's actually a festering pile of shit garbage? Did you remember that? Yeah, because that's true. Mother Teresa it is such a sham. That's not a Mandela effect at all. That's just like...
It was just kind of a weird turn that you went through.
I'm just telling you, study up. Like, do some real studying on her because she was not a good person. She was boosted to that thing by the church, and yeah.
What
That's
a
not a
bitch.
Mandela effect, though.
I think she met Mandela.
Well, I think there were a lot of people that considered her, that thought she was canonized as a saint before she actually died, and called her Saint Teresa.
And that wasn't until like 2016 that she was actually...
Yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap up this podcast and join us next week as we discuss more pop culture urban legends with your pals here at Rotten.
Or maybe we'll just start a whole new season covering something completely different.
You guys stay rotten.
Stay rotten, guys!
Rotten.
Stay rotten.
Join us next time for another episode of Rotten Mournings.